Hey, gang, it's Bob Bannister coming at you with another edition of Rock Talk right here with CGCM Rock Radio. Hey, why don't you do us a favor? Hit those like, subscribe, and share buttons. Leave us a comment as well. And as we get closer to the end of 2025, I sit here and I think to myself, boy, who do I have left to interview? I don't have that many people left, I don't think. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes out of the woodwork and bam, there's another artist that I can sit down and have a chat with. And that's always so much fun. I got to tell you that. And this was a real surprise. This guy, Tommy Gunn from Australia, came from out of nowhere and said, "Hey, Bob, I'd really love an interview. Would you do it?" And I said, "Absolutely. Let's sit down, let's chat, and let's see what comes of it." And this guy is just such an interesting young man, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. And I really, really am hoping that we're going to hear a lot more from this bright young man in the very near future. So, what do you say we step into the Rock Talk studio, sit down, and have a chat with the one, the only Tommy Gunn?
Now we're history. Consumed, extinct, holding our own against the cyborgs rising.
And as promised, joining us this time on Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio, joining us from Western Australia, the one, the only Tommy Gunn. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good, Bob. Going well, thanks, mate.
Very cool. So, Tommy, give us the story of Tommy Gunn. Who is Tommy Gunn?
Yeah, good question. Where do I start? Look, I'm a music lover through and through, and at heart a metalhead. Love all things heavy music. So about 2 or so years ago, I decided to start kind of writing my own music and putting it out there to the world, and been enjoying the process. And I just write about stuff that I enjoy writing about, and write songs for me. And if people enjoy it, that's a bonus. But yeah, draw on influences from almost any rock and heavy metal kind of genre and subgenre, and try to have this melting pot of influences. And what comes out is Tommy Gunn. And yeah, that's the long and short of it.
It's interesting you say that you draw a lot of influences from heavy bands and stuff like that, because listening to your catalog that's up there. Listening to Ball Teaser, or Ball Terror rather, I hear a lot of AC/DC. But when I hear Operator Master, I hear a lot of Beatles in that. Is that a fair comparison?
Operator Master is not my one, because I think there is another Tommy Gunn out there, which can get confusing sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But no. But you're right in saying Ball Terror is a heavy AC/DC influence song. I've got another song called Coming Along With You, which is kind of more a Creed, Three Doors Down kind of influence song. And then my latest song, Cyborgs Rise, is definitely turning up the thrash knob on that, with a more Metallica style influence and a bit thrashier style music.
I was going to say, I heard a little bit of Metallica in that as well. Just in the passing there, but that's not a bad thing. They say that that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
That's right. And it's I'm kind of finding that I'm developing my own sound by trying these different genres, and as I said, creating a melting pot.
So what is your creative process like? Is it, do you wake up hearing a riff in your head, or is it a line or something like that, and you have to just write it down, or
is probably where I start. They'll come to me when I'm just, playing around on the guitar or just lazing around, and it'll either pop into my head, or I'll be noodling on the guitar and pick something out, or hear something and then make a kind of a derivative of that sound. And everything kind of just happens from there. I am like a solo singer songwriter, so everything I write is done by myself, except for this latest song, Cyborgs Rise. I had some help from an old bandmate of mine who did a guest vocalist spot on that song as well.
Very cool, very cool. So, Tommy, have you been doing gigs as well around your community and whatnot?
Yeah, so I've been doing kind of the solo acoustic cover stuff for a few years, 5 or so years, but yeah, more recently picked up a few gigs doing my original music. The most latest gig I did was supporting an old Australian rock band called UMI in my hometown, in my town in Karratha, and I think they actually just were inducted to the ARIA Hall of Fame the other week, so that was pretty cool to say I've played along with them, and yeah, a few gigs hopefully coming up in the new year with the release of a new EP in the new year as well.
And you just answered two of my questions right there. I was going to ask you what's 2026 looking like, and what if you got some new music coming out. So tell us more about this new music that you're coming out with, the new EP.
Yep. So that new EP will be coming out early 2026. I don't have an exact date yet, but it'll be called The Cyborg, and it's based around the single I've just released called Cyborgs Rise. So it's kind of it does center around that theme, and it'll include a few other songs which tie into that original single as well. So a bit of a concept EP, but also throwing in a few little different things as well.
And what would you say is on your musical bucket list then?
Yeah, I love just playing live. So I want to play, like the European festival season is probably right up there on my bucket list. Any support slots for international bands. I could list off many. But yeah, the European festival summer would be an absolute topper.
Absolutely. That would be absolutely amazing. Except for Wacken. I've heard bad things about, I shouldn't say bad things, but it always seems like you see the post report of Wacken and it's like a mud fest. It always seems to rain, just bucket down at Wacken.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've heard that too, actually, but I kind of think it might make it more fun in a way.
Yeah, make it almost Woodstock-esque,
That's right. Very much so.
So is there any artists that you would love to share the stage with?
But like kind of in recent times, where I live in Western Australia, we've been spoiled for kind of big live bands coming over here. Last night I just went and saw Machine Head, which was awesome. A couple of weeks ago, Metallica were in town. A couple of nights ago to see Tool and AC/DC a couple of nights after that. So it's been a bit of a really nice period of live music where I live, and all of those bands would be amazing to share a stage with. Although trying to warm up a crowd for a Machine Head concert would be a pretty tough gig, but like the energy in the room last night was incredible, and yeah, that's the kind of thing I thrive off. So I think I'd really enjoy something like that.
Absolutely. And I think Sebastian Bach is over in Australia right now too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I think he played a couple of nights ago. I didn't get to that one, but yeah, he was in town.
It's interesting because I have a 6 degrees of separation to Sebastian Bach. A guy I went to radio college with, went to high school with Sebastian Bach. So
oh wow. Cool.
We've got a 6 degrees of separation there. I've never met the guy, but
yeah,
I guess that's my
relation.
my remote claim to fame. So one of our sponsors here on CGCM Rock Radio is Iron Maiden Trooper Beer. And as everyone knows, Yannick, the third guitarist, is the guy that's always dropping his guitar or falling off the stage, or falling on his face even. Have you had a Yannick moment on stage?
Yeah, look, a couple. The one that's happened to me is it's always happened at kids shows where I start to talk a bit of shit on the microphone between songs and end up going on a rant that is probably not appropriate for kids. I've done that once or twice, and when I have played kid shows, I usually pull out Puff the Magic Dragon, which always gets an interesting reaction. But yeah, look,
so
lucky enough.
Adults.
yeah. Not been lucky enough not to, drop my guitar off stage or anything these days, but touch wood, that doesn't happen.
There you go. Now everybody's got one of those songs. You hear it on the radio or it comes on your iTunes or whatever, and you just go, "Damn, I wish I wrote that." What's that song for you?
That's a really good question. I was listening to some Bullet for My Valentine this morning, and I was listening to the song "Scream Aim Fire," which I thought, geez, that is just it was like a real song at the time, which kind of exploded onto the scene and made that kind of music popular. And some of the guitar work and the singing, I was like, damn, that would be a cool song to play. And yeah, I wish I wrote that kind of song. That would be wicked.
And who are you fanboying over these days? What's your latest musical obsession?
Yeah, I've been really getting into a lot of the prog rock kind of scene lately. There's a band called Traversa that really caught my ear. Another band from, I think, Sweden. They're called Soen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that kind of prog sound is really piqued my interest lately, and yeah, might bring a bit of that kind of sound into my music soon. It's really kind of creative and fresh and new and exciting. So yeah, those kinds of bands are really catching my ear at the moment.
Now, with that being said, you just kind of reminded me, what are your thoughts on Rush coming back with, I don't want to say a replacement drummer, but a drummer sitting in for the late, great Neil Peart?
Yeah, obviously being a Canadian yourself, you don't know what you feel about it, but I mean, like I said, I'm going to see AC/DC with, Angus being the only original member, and I think they've done, those kinds of bands have been around for so long that it's almost expected that things like that are going to happen. And yeah, some people obviously feel it's, disingenuous or whatever, but I think all power to them if that's something they want to do as a collective. Obviously replacing the great Neil Peart is a big shoes to fill, but I think it will be great.
Absolutely. Well, Tommy, before we wrap things up here, I like to do a little thing called this or that, just some rapid fire questions, top of the head answers. If you're ready, we'll just fire away on these. All right. Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Biking or hiking?
Biking.
Road trip or plane ride?
Plane ride.
Seeing a concert in a large venue or a small club?
Large venue.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Pick your superpower, super strength or the ability to fly?
Oh, fly.
And finally, this is the dividing one. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Tommy Gunn from Western Australia. Take a minute and shamelessly promote yourself, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. You can check me out on Instagram at TommyGunn_Oz, AUS. I'm on Spotify as Tommy Gunn, Facebook Tommy Gunn, and my website is tommygunn.com.au, where you can find all links to all those other sites as well, YouTube, all that kind of jazz.
Very, very cool. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to join us here on this edition of Rock Talk, my friend.
Thanks for the chat, Bob. Appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. And I want to thank you for joining us on this edition of Rock Talk. And we'll catch you again next time with CGCM Rock Radio.